All right, everybody, how you doing? Well, welcome to the folks that haven't been here for a while, and the new ones, and everyone else too. Is the mic working okay? I did some moving around and stuff today, so I want to make sure everything's working perfectly. All right, looks like my timer has gone down. I want to do a quick roll call here while we're on that screen. I got Kyle Anderson, hello. Charlie Gordon, how you doing this evening, buddy? You've been putting out some good train videos. We got Uncle Al. We got Thoughts of an Old Soldier. How you doing, my new friend? We have Uncle. We have Hey Cheryl, how you doing? SJ, how you doing, my friend? Who else here? 88 Mark 86. Hello. Seven Wonders. Good to see you. Glad you came in. David Carlisle. How you doing? Seven Wonders. Must be new. I don't recognize that name, or you haven't been around for a while. Big Red EDC. A-OK. How you doing, Zach? Brenda? Small town Southern housewife. Welcome back. It looks like Brandon Outdoors Adventures. Welcome. Okay, Ryan the Gamer. Hey, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. We were talking about the green screen, him and I, last night. All right, you guys, I'm going to pop it over here to the other screen. Let you guys see some of the stuff I've been working on while you guys are enjoying yourselves. As you can see, I put up that chat box so you guys can see your own chat. Kind of helps everybody out there. When my screen goes down, I'll have somewhere to look and see what's going on. Also, my second camera came, so we'll be doing some stuff with two cameras instead of just one. It probably won't start till Wednesday. I think Wednesday when we do our network chat, we will be using that camera. We'll be showcasing other channels. You know how we network on that day. I'm going to be showing other channels in real time. Be able to look at their channel, go through it, maybe play a quick video of theirs. Give them a chance to actually be noticed. Try to help them grow a little bit. So that's some of the things I have planned. Things are starting to roll together a little bit for as we go into the second part of this year. So, oh, I'm glad you did, old soldier. I have another one coming out in the morning. It's already scheduled. It'll be up while I am snoring. Give you guys a chance to look at it before I even get out of bed. It's the finish of the setup. Then we're going to get into the settings of OBS in the third one. So I'll be doing that video tomorrow and then putting it up for the next day. So yeah, everything's starting to roll along pretty good. I'm starting to kind of get everything together. So, on Mondays we do sort of like prepping, bushcrafter, stuff like that. I've been covering disasters for a while now. So I figured, well, we've done all those disasters. And if we were to just go ahead and take and say, what if all those things happened at the same time? Just think about that. It could. I mean, they have a lot of technology out there that we probably don't even know about. So they could probably make everything in the whole world come down on top of us if they so chose. And I don't even know who they is. That's the wording I'm using, okay? But anyway, if all that was to happen, we would have to figure out what we're going to do. And I'm just basically tonight going to talk about the United States. It could cover the whole world, but I'm going to just talk about what would happen in the United States. And the simple truth of the matter is that if a crisis or disaster actually did do take out several places in the United States, there isn't really much that we can really do or a good place to be. So what we're gonna do tonight, we're just gonna basically cover all that stuff. I'm gonna kind of talk real slow tonight so that we can talk about it. I have some visual aids also to show you guys. I have put together for us, so we are gonna be able to do some stuff here. Let me get this here out of the way so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. So actually, if we were going to be totally SOL, okay? Let's just say we're totally SOL. Say China and maybe Russia or some other countries, they caught attitude towards us and they just decided, well, we're just going to go ahead and take them out. So here is the bleak picture of the targets that they would have to pick from. And they are going to be right there. It should be coming up for you guys here in a second. Let me get my stuff together here so I can see what you guys see. It should be, there we go. Just came up. That is all the targets that they would have to choose from. Doesn't really let me clean that up for you guys here. So I got that chat window in the way. And I want you guys to be able to see the East Coast as well. So hold on a second, we'll fix that so that you guys can see the whole map. Give me a second here. There we go. Whoop, clean back. Jump back right when I let go of it. You guys gotta know where I'm coming from because if you've been watching that OBS video stuff, I can clean it up while you guys are watching. So there you go. That is the map of all of the nuclear targets. If we were to be another country were to actually get really mad at us, there is a lot of targets there that they could choose from to just totally put us in a world of hurt. Yep, drying up in the farmland. Yeah, they can do all kinds of stuff. That's for sure. But that is something right there. That those are all nuclear targets. I mean that's places that they could bomb, and we'd be in a world of hurt. So what we need to do is we need to pick a place that allows us to maintain like a normal mainstream life. If something happens, we don't want to be all panicked out all the time, worrying about where we're going to get our food and our water and our shelter and all that stuff. We don't want to do that. We want to be able to live as normal a life as possible, because I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to live in fear. So, big thing here is to make sure that we're picking somewhere to go that is actually going to be make us feel good about ourselves. We all the people that preppers, bushcrafters, etc. We all already know that we have to pick up and collect the food, the water, and all that stuff. But we need to be in a place where we're going to feel safe. Now, we all know that you're going to bug in as much as possible. You're going to stay put, right? That's what the big thing is. But if you would have to leave, then we would have to pick a place that would be sustainable for you, depending on where you want to go, or where you live, where your geological location is right now. The ideal place would be probably somewhere towards the middle of the United States. So here's what I've got for you. It'll be up here in a second as I get it put together for you. I'm trying to keep up with the thing here because of the lag. I'm not going to pay attention to the chat yet, you guys. You guys just go ahead and talk because I've got some stuff I need to take care of. So this is actually where they're saying the perfect spot would actually be. And that covers a lot of space. As you can see there, it's Missouri and parts of, let's see, I can't see very good. You guys probably see better than me, but it looks like parts of Illinois. And, come on. Let's see what's going on here. Did it jump on me? Nope, it didn't. I'm looking at the wrong screen here. Sorry about that, you guys. So as you can see, I'll just go back to my old standby here. As you can see, the Ozarks, they're saying that the Ozarks are actually going to be one of the best places to be in case of a nuclear holocaust. Or I don't like that word. I like to use the word collapse because that's actually what it's going to be. Is the country will be into a collapse. It won't be the other way. And it's going to be kind of hard to make a bunker in your home. They're expensive for one thing. They cost like even the cheapest one be about 70 grand. I don't have that kind of money. I'm not sure about you guys, but I don't have that kind of money. So the best thing is just to know where to go. If you have to leave your location, and make sure that if you got your bug out vehicle, make sure it's packed full of the stuff that you need. Because you know that when you leave home, you're going to leave all that stuff behind that you've been collecting. So that's make sure that you know where you're going. Okay, another place would be a good place to go here. It'd get you out of there. Let me get to the next slide here. For the people on the East Coast now, we're going to talk about them for a minute. And hold on a second, you guys. You guys talk amongst yourselves here. I got an issue I got to deal with. There we go. Hold on. Technical difficulty. Come on. There we go. Sorry about that, you guys. So here's what they're saying about the East Coast is that you may want to. You can see I don't know if I can get my hand in the right spot here. I'm gonna try to. Right here. You don't want to be in the yellow spot. That they're telling you not to go to the yellow spot. The green spot and the blue spot and that red stripe. Those would be the best places to be on the East Coast, and that's because they're in the Appalachians. So the Appalachians mountains area, you can see some of it up into New York there, and some are down into Tennessee. You guys know where the Appalachians are that live on the East Coast. So that is the area that they would suggest that if anything happened, you could get up in there. After everything starts settling down, and you start want to move around, getting out of the cities and stuff, making sure that you've got all the food and water that you can carry to get to another location, bug out location, whatever you want to call it. I would just call it another location. Get the heck out of Dodge. So you will want to find an area that will have like-minded people that think like you do, and that's not really as hard as it sounds. You guys know that most rural areas will still have core values and they'll have self-sufficiency. That's why if you go outside of the cities and stuff and you start getting into the farmlands, the mountainous areas, the people that are from there, they're gonna stay in those areas. So you'll want to be able to go out there, kind of mix in with those folks there, and there are also pockets of old school knowledge in those areas. That has been lost to much of the larger cities and stuff. So if you migrate outside your area, let's say you're in a large city, uh, he would want to go outside because people in large cities actually they don't are very good farmers really. They don't really know except what they uh, learn. They we as the people preppers and bushcrafters we all know the fundamentals of doing it. And we practice it. But to be able to sustain yourself, you'll probably need like-minded people. And that is why I'm going to go this finger, I guess. That's why you'll want to stay like in the Appalachians and stuff like that. Because those people aren't going anywhere and they know the area pretty well. And you want to make sure that you just don't storm in there and tell them, hey, I'm here. You have to kind of integrate yourself into those areas. Otherwise, you may run into some hostile activity. So, hold on a second. Uh, Better get on the popsicles. Where's the old man at? Another consideration is what is the proximity to the nuclear power plants, or proximity to military installations. The distance from potential targets are in the nuclear attack are going to come into play as well, and the things of this nature. So you want to make sure that the concerns of the power plants are going to say like Fukushima, and that the military installations and that will be a concern for the concerns of martial law. They'll be doing things like confiscations. They'll be doing conscriptions and so on like that. So all the FEMA camp nightmares we have envisioned will probably come about in that situation. So it's not particularly concerned about the nuclear war in the classic sense. What we really have to worry about is the terrorism. It's always a consideration that those guys are nuking friggin' nuts, and very hard to anticipate. So being too close to a potential target actually uh, distracts from what you got to do. You make sure that's why it comes back to the fact of knowing uh, your like-minded people. Excuse me, I kind of went blank there for a second. So the Appalachians is going to be a strong preference for the Great Smoky Mountains. It'd be for the people like in South Carolina, West Virginia, Kentucky, and Tennessee. Those regions are similar to the Ozark region, okay? And they offer a lot of good choices to live under a nice little life, so you don't have to be all stressed out and stuff like that. You can be relaxed. You don't have to live in fear. The portions of the Appalachians that pass through the Northeast may be less desirable, and that is, let me get my right finger up there, the Northeast. So that would be up there at the top of that red stripe, Northeast. And it may be less desirable due to the proximity of the larger cities like New York City and such. So you may want to watch where you go in the Northeast. The red areas are the best areas to be in, and the blue areas are pretty darn good too. But they want you to steer clear of the yellow areas. The yellow areas are going to be kind of not good places. There's going to be a lot of targets there for them to hit in case of a all-out war. So I'm going to give you the what they're calling the ideal. This is going to be the ideal area to be in. I don't know why because I lived in this area and so did Wayne. But they're saying that it is the ideal location. get the right slide up here. There we go. It'll be there in a second, you guys. All right, they're saying this is the ideal location right here. And that is the Cascade Mountains of Washington and Oregon and Northern California. And once again, there's plenty of spots in this region, and they meet the criteria of lots of the rural culture and heritage, and that the climate is quite favorable there year round. Like when I live there, they don't really think about too much about snow because it's there, but it's gone, you know. So that's one of the things that has a longer growing season. Yeah, of course you have to be kind of careful on the West Coast, and because of the large cities and populations of that side, and there's lots of liberals there. So you don't want they don't like guns and things like that. So try to stay east of the mountains. That would be my suggestion to you. Stay away from the big cities. All the big cities lay on the west side of the mountain. The Cascades run right up the uh, through California. They start in California, come up all the way through Oregon, into Washington, and up into Canada. So the west side of the Cascades is mainly the big populated areas, and the east side of the mountains is kind of more or less not. I don't. I've only been through Oregon driving and whatnot, so I know everything on the east side of Oregon is still kind of hilly and mountainous, but at the same time it's arid and still has a good season for growing stuff like that. And in Washington, when you get on the east side of the mountains, it turns more like into where I live now. It's kind of a flat, arid, uh, less populated area, and it's actually good for growing. They have long growing seasons there and whatnot, so that would be a good spot. And I'm not really sure about California. Haven't been too much into Northern California. I know they have mountains there. That's about all I really know about California. So if you are able to do so in advance, always check out the areas that you want to go to before you actually go there. You don't want to go there and then find out that 40 million other people are there too, you know. So they have a lot of old time families in that area. So you'll want to make sure that you kind of hook up with the old timers so that you can learn how to do your farming and stuff because you'll be relocated. You'll probably be relocated from the Midwest or something like that. You never know. You're gonna want to try to get away from the harsh winters if at all possible, so that you won't have to endure that really cold weather. So there's also a large hippie population that you don't want. They're pretty much harmless. I actually come from the hippie era, so hippies really didn't care about too much at all. All we cared about was love and war, you know, where we were going to get that next one, you know. So types are pretty much dialed in, and they're in their preparedness. Actually, they're really good at being self-sufficient. So libertarian principles, it's not that old, and they don't judge by the book by its cover thing. That's pretty much how the hippie 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 syndrome is, I guess is what you would call it. So we're going to get into this next slide, and this is it's going to be coming up here in a second. I'll wait for it to come up for you guys, and I can see I got overlap there. Whoop, wrong one. Try to get rid of it. There we go. This slide here is is the precipitation map. Now the precipitation map, I can't see the one on the screen. I'm going to have to look down here, so I apologize, you guys. But the precipitation map is the green is good. That means there's lots of rainfall and stuff like that. And then when you get into, let me try to get my finger in the right area over here. When you get to those dark red spots right there, those areas are less than 5% for precipitation. So those would be the arid areas, and you really want to try to stay away from those areas. The arid areas are not going to be a good place for you to go because you won't have access to water, readily water available. You won't have water to drink and cook with. You won't have water to water your crops with and things like this. So the ideal ones to go to are the blue ones and the green ones and a little bit of the yellow ones. Yellow ones are iffy, you know. It depends on the time of year when the floods and stuff come. So the main ones you want to really stay with are green and blue. So this map more or less gives you an idea of where the best precipitation is. As you can see from the map, it covers basically uh, Kansas. I guess that's Kansas right there. I see. Yeah, from Kansas east all the way out to New York, Boston, down into Florida, that whole part of the nation there. That would be good for being able to sustain yourself, for having water to cook and clean with, to grow your crops and still have water to consume. And then also up in northern part of Idaho and some of the western parts of California. As you can see, the green goes all the way up into Washington, Oregon, and all that, northern part of California, and then the blue. Blue is heavy rain, so that is like Seattle, Portland, shoot, I don't know any down in Northern California. You guys would probably, some of you guys out there probably know more about that. But as you can see, it rains. Let me tell you about where I lived in Washington. It rained probably 360 days a year, and there's only 365 days in a year. It probably rained 360 days of those 365. So if you're wanting a lot of rain, you want to be going out onto the Washington West Coast and probably Oregon too. They get a lot of rain down around Portland and whatnot. So that would be a good place to hang out as well. Okay, let's get to the next part here. The other criteria would make sure that you're staying in these areas to make sure that you can grow crops. That's the big thing. After the collapse and everything starts settling down from whatever happens to us, who knows what it could be anything. But make sure that you know where you're going. If you know where you're going, make sure you go out and scout it out. Take a vacation and go where you're going to be going, or if you have a bug out location already, make sure it's in one of these areas. I'm going to open up something here for myself here, and I'm going to let me see if I can get this. I want to show you guys this other slide one more time so that you understand. It'll be up here in a second. All right, I want you guys to see this map again. Now, these are all major targets. And we have talked about all this stuff tonight about where to go and everything. But I need you to understand about the targets. The targets are everywhere. Hold on. Hate pins. Hate these pins. All right. Now we're back where I'm supposed to be. You also want to choose an area where food is produced. and where you can start making food producing improvements. You want to make sure that you can do these things on the property that you choose to go to. You want to have good soil, and you want to have enough water that you can grow gardens and even water livestock, because you're going to have meat to be in your diet to make sure you're getting all the nutrients you need, and to have the energy you need to regrow your new society. So you want an area there where livestock is produced, and that shows you on the other map uh, where to go. You know, the map we just looked at previously to this one, and you want to make sure that they're being grazed in fields and pastures and stuff, and they're not being fed through uh, what the heck do they call those things? Shoot, I just had it and I forgot. Let me see. I want to make sure that they're not in, what do they call the place where they herd them all into and then they feed them from there? I can't think of it. Old age, darn it. Feedlots, there we go. Feedlots. Thank you. So you want to make sure that they're grazing and not being fed through a feedlot, because if they're going through a feedlot, you're really not going to know what's being put into their feed. Yeah, it could still be contaminated. Perhaps the feed came from a contaminated area and you don't even know it, and you start eating the meat. So pretty soon you're eating contaminated meat and you're becoming sick. And then you could pass your sickness on down. So you want to make sure if you've got livestock that they're not being fed through feedlots or through grain that is coming from a feedlot, because you're not going to be sure of where it's coming from. And you also want to be absolutely certain that there's plenty and easily accessible water. And that's for drinking and cooking and all your sanitary needs. And you want to make sure that you're not in an isolated place like a desert or in the high mountains. But there is a reason for places where they're settled extensively in the mountains, is because those folks, they actually know where the meadows and stuff are, and they could actually bring livestock there and let them graze on the open meadows and stuff. And that's the reason it's hard to come up with enough water to grow things, because you just have to know where to go, basically. If you don't know where to go, that's where you're going to be your downfall. All right, that's about it. What I do, man, I did pretty good tonight. A half hour. I knew it wasn't going to take very long, but I wanted to get it all out there before we went into the discussion period. So, if you guys have any questions or concerns, this is a question and answer time. If you have a question, put it in caps so I can see it, okay? I gotta catch up with the chat. You guys carry on. I want to see who all came in while I was talking. Okay, let's see. Hey, Corsair, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Also, West Wind came in. Hi. Silver Bugle, hello. I believe this is your first time in. Welcome. Andrew Hondo, how you doing there? Good to see you. Welcome to the live stream. Glad you came. Networking. We're going to be doing some networking on Wednesdays, old soldier. And yeah, it comes in handy even if you're going to be going other places. say you live in a big city and you're going to be going out of town, you have to move. The big cities is going to be the worst place to live in case of a collapse because then FEMA is going to come in there and they're going to hurt everybody up. Everybody should know that by now, right? So, hey, Chris, good to see you. I see that you dropped in also. I was going to get around to it. But yeah, networking is real important when you're prepping for sure. And knowing where you're going is really important. Make sure that when you know where you're going, like some folks, they already have their bug out location located. They've already bought property. They're already taking their vacations and going down there and practicing their skills. And they're visiting with their neighbors and stuff around that so that they know who they can count on when all heck breaks loose and they have to go there to live. So networking is a big part of making sure that you know where you're going and knowing that you're gonna have somebody there that you can count on when you get there. If you're not doing any of that, then you're gonna be the new kid on the block, and the neighbors are gonna say, "Oh yeah, all heck broke loose now. Guess who's here?" Stuff like that. You don't want that. You want to make sure that you are networking with your new neighbors and stuff. It's like we were talking about in tonight's uh, talk is make sure that you're going somewhere where the people are friendly, where people have already been there and they're already uh, acclimated to that area. They're going to be able to help you with like water and where to graze your livestock and how many days in a week does it take to get to the water, stuff like that. Finding a abandoned subway tunnel, that's going to be pretty hard, Uncle. If something were to go seriously upside down, I think that all those tunnels will probably either be blown up or the ones that are down in there are probably going to be the bad guys. But Steve would get along down there. He knows how to take care of himself. Hey, how you doing, Jay? Good to see you, my friend. How are you this evening? You try to catch up here. Yeah, you're probably toast there at that naval base there, Steve. That's why I would be looking for an alternate location. That is part of bushcraft slash prepping and all that stuff, is having your alternative location already picked out. I'm glad you're doing good, Jay. That's a good question, Chris. How are you feeling, Uncle? Oh, you're going to Hoople's house, huh? You're going to defect over to Canada. He's got a pretty good bug out location. He calls it the Shire. He's done some videos of it. He looks like he is kind of getting it put together. But he knows he has to get the heck out of Dodge. He's getting ready to retire anyway. So he says when he retires, he's just going to get out of the city and go early. Another thing I thought of was if you're going to go to another location, make sure that you have everything that you're going to need inside your bug out vehicle. Because if you know where you're going, you're going to know the key things that you're going to need when you get there to start all over again. Hoople's probably got enough property out there to take care of a bunch of us anyway. Of course, we'd have to eat vegan, you know. I'm reading Andrew Hondo message here. He says everyone here are armed to the teeth, so you have no idea. He says I've taught kids marksmanship and at a young age, and they're born fighters. So if city people think they're coming here to fight, got another thing coming. That's good. Good thought. Better hope they got less people than what you got. A lot of people think they're just going to push their way around to get what they want. Uh, I don't think really that's going to be feasible because you're going to want to try to get along. Otherwise, you're going to have the criminals coming after you. Hey, how you doing, Backwoods? Good to see you, my friend. You guys just getting done over there at your place? Keith Gregory, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you too. Getting all sparkly here. You guys must be putting a wham bam on me. You guys remember from that tutorial how you get rid of those glitteries, right? Can you guys remember? There is a way to get rid of them. Something like that. You do it when you guys aren't looking. So tomorrow I got another video coming out on the OBS, so hopefully you guys get some education there. Corsair, he seems to think it's outside his pay grade, but you know what? I think if he did it once or twice, he would be saying it's too simple. So actually, the big cities are going to be hit first. I hate to say it, that and the military bases and the nuclear plants. That's why that map I showed you is so intense. Let me see if I can get that thing back up there. Right there it is. Those are, that's a lot of targets, you guys. That's a lot of targets. And those are all possible targets if something were to go wrong in our country. FFP says when SHTF happens, get yourself a climbing harness, climbing shoes, and a dynamic rope, water and granola bars, and climb a mountain. No one on a mountain with no trail, and it goes straight up. Yep, that'd be a good thing. You must be in better shape than me. Yep, that's right, Wayne. Those nuclear subs are going to be like a giant bomb going off. You know, when I was in the Navy, uh, some of you guys know this, some of you don't. Excuse me. I was on a sub tender, so uh, what would happen is there would be submarines, and they would come right alongside my ship on each side. We had one on each side most of the time. Sometimes two on one side, two on the other. It just depended on how many were in the area at the time. and then we would resupply them, resupply the subs. We would take off all their nuclear waste and suck it into our tanks, and then we would go out and dump their waste into the ocean. I don't know why they couldn't do that themselves, but that's how it worked out for us. And I always thought that what would happen if they would come over there while they were alongside of us and decide to drop some bombs, you know. Excuse me, guys. What if they dropped those bombs on top of us, you know? Oh no. I got a miss. Hold on. Get that out of the way. So I always wondered what would happen if they dropped the bomb. Even back in those days, they could drop a bomb, you know, right out of a B-52 or something. Even drop a bomb off of a fighter jet or something. As long as it landed right there where those subs are, I'd be history, you know. So yeah, the naval bases are going to be a big target, and you can see that. You see on that picture everywhere. Try to get my finger go the right way without it going out of the picture. But you can see where all the bases are up there, and we have bases all up and down all the coasts. Don't think that the West Coast is the only one. You know, they're everywhere. And not only that, we have IBM missiles that are buried in the ground all across the United States. Now, you guys are going to say, oh, they decommissioned those things. I'm going to tell you, they did not decommission them. Because where I live, they have missile sites all over the place, and they still have Air Force guys up there maintaining them. So they didn't decommission them. They just laid low on the information. I know that I went from my house down into Colorado a while back, and when I came back, I went by a couple of the missile sites. They had some civilian trucks there, but there was some of those half tracks on wheels, military type stuff. Those guys were there as well, you know. So what happened was I slowed down and rolled my window down just to see what was going on, you know, to see why all those vehicles were there. And that was the wrong thing to do because as soon as I rolled my windows up and started down the road again, I looked in my rearview mirror and I had one of those military vehicles and one of those white pickups following me. And they followed me all the way to the state line. And I don't know if they thought I was a threat to them or whatever, but they followed me from that missile site all the way to the state line. And that was a real scary, that was scary. So yeah, all those little dots probably are where missile silos are in the Midwest there, up into the Dakotas and into Montana, even some parts of Wyoming. I mean, I traveled with my parents. My dad put those missiles in the ground, helped them put the missiles in the ground, whatever. And I know just about where they're all at. So a lot of those dots are probably missile silos. So we are just totally screwed if they'd come to get us. What are you saying about the white truck, Uncle? Whack a what? Whack and who it? I think that they were probably contractors, military contractors. I'm not thinking that they're driving nails and stuff being that kind of contractor. I think that they're different kind of contractors. Oh, I'm sure it is 88. I'm sure it is because it's just like I said, they haven't really changed anything. Everything's just a real low key now. They don't advertise about what's going on out here in this part of the country, and they just it's a real low key operation. I don't know what, Uncle. Am I missing something here? They're probably contractors, not like a contractor going in doing electrical work and stuff like that. Because if they're following me with those military trucks, they're probably CIA or NSA or something like that. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say it without saying too much. All right, FFP, if you're out of here, I'll talk to you later. You have a great week, buddy. You tell him, Steve. So I got some of you guys in here that play around with stuff here. I learned last night how to take my OBS and put it into Hangouts. So I can do Hangouts with a panel and still bring up my little educational stuff over here, this kind of stuff. I got all that figured out now, and so probably next Monday I'll be in Hangouts, but it'll be OBS Hangouts, and that'll be so I can use my visual stuff so that you guys can see the stuff that I am talking about. I was gonna do it tonight, but I want to do a dry run at it before I do it, so I just learned how to do it, so I'm gonna do a dry run, and then if it works perfectly, we'll do it next Monday. Hey, Rob, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Area 51. Oh, Area 51's a scary place, huh, Uncle? I heard they have one that's worse than Area 51 now. It's not too far from Area 51, but it's supposed to be a lot scarier than Area 51, and it's all underground. So you can't even tell it's there unless you see the cars going in and out. Yep, that's right, old soldier. I was just reading your comment. I caught it. It says he says in his opinion that they would probably just strike certain key targets and they would invade so not to take the land because most of those guys can't even feed their own people. But basically, I feel that if the other countries and whatnot, hey, the other countries and stuff, they feed their military guys. I think they would have to feed them fairly well because they would want to make sure that they can fight. Hey, Matt, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. You're gonna be getting that knife on Wednesday. Did you see that when I sent the tracking number? They don't have that many areas, do they, Uncle? Uncle's saying they got 51, 52, 53. I've never heard of that before. I would have to see it in black and white or see it somewhere else. That's right, Jay. That would be pretty special, huh? Because those guys are all just spoiled kids. They don't know any better. Texas down there where Rob's at, let me see on that map. This looks like you're a target too, Rob. Trying to catch up here, you guys. Go ahead. The grain belt. Well, yeah, I suppose they would. That'd be the plain states or the east. You know, they call it like Iowa, Nebraska, Colorado, Wyoming, the Dakotas, where the farmers actually sell the grain and stuff from. That's why I try to tell you guys that when you're gonna start going to your alternate locations, to make sure that you're taking enough seeds and stuff to start your own production of your own food. That's the big thing, is that you got to make sure that you're collecting seeds too, not just storing up food, but seeds. I have already started my seed collection. I actually have two 3 pound cans of coffee, those big plastic ones. I have those just jammed full of vegetable seeds and stuff like that, seeds that you'll need later down the road. After I get so much in there, I can't push any more in there. I put that plastic lid back on. I take duct tape and go around it a couple of times, seal it up real good. That way, I want to make sure that those seeds don't get wet or are damaged anyway, because you're going to need them when you go out into a new area to start all over again. So if you guys are not collecting seeds in with your preps, you guys probably should be doing that. I mean, a lot of you guys live out of ways and have your own gardens and stuff. It wouldn't be that hard to get your own seeds dried out and get them stored away. That is a perfect way to make sure that something happens and there's no way that we can rely on our own system to supply the food that we need, that you can supply your own food. Seeds. It's like Rob was saying in his video the other day. If you guys didn't see that video about him and his plants that he has growing inside right now, some of his tomato plants are like, the seeds from them are like 200 years old. So, he's got a couple of generations of tomatoes that he grows. And that was pretty impressive to me. I had to actually say something about it. The seeds were actually handed down in his family from generation to generation. So, that's something to think about. Even if we don't need those seeds that we store up, make sure that you're handing them off to your kids so that when they are living their lives without any fear because they know that they could take care of themselves because we made it that way for them. We we collected everything that we needed to collect, and if we don't need it in our lifetime, it passes on to the kids or the kids' kids. Or you see how I'm in the direction I'm going here. Make sure that it's all going back into the plan. The plan is to make sure you have what you need. How long are you supposed to collect for? You know, FEMA says 6 months, but we know better, right? 1 or 2 years is probably the best thing that you could do is collect for 2 years. You can dehydrate food, you can can food, you can uh, pack it away in seal meal bags, whatever. Collect seeds. Make sure you got plenty of water. I'm not telling you guys nothing you guys don't already know. How many here have 6 months of food? Yeah, that's right, Wayne. Rob does some great videos, actually. I mean, he doesn't put out a lot of videos, but when he puts out one, it's he always gives you something to think about. He is doing pretty good. Some of you guys that weren't in here earlier, I tell you that I got the second cameras now, so we're going to be doing some networking. Some of these other channels, the smaller ones, we're going to make sure that we showcase them in real time. So maybe we'll pick up on some of these younger preppers that are needing some help as to what they need to do to prepare. And in the same way, they may know something that us old timers need to know. And that's what it's all about is networking back and forth so that we can help each other out and make sure that we're going to be able to support ourselves and our families in the process. Somebody's saying something about cannibalism out there. They may revert to cannibalism. I would think that that's going to happen in the big cities, though. My opinion is that would be something that would happen in the metropolitan areas because those areas are going to run out of food no matter what. It doesn't matter. They're going to run out of food. FEMA's not going to have enough food to bring them. I mean, they're going to be left to fend for themselves. Absolutely. There will be some cannibalism. And I believe it'll be in the metropolitan areas. Rob says he's got 6 months stored up. How about the rest of you guys? He's probably got more than that. He's probably jiving us just a little bit. An alias? Yeah, maybe. When I was younger, I used to have an alias just to keep myself out of trouble. I was kind of a hell on wheels kind of guy in my younger day. So I always went by another name when I was out creating hate and destruction. Cannibals love spices. Yeah, probably. You watch too much Walking Dead, Wayne. Travel Atlas, absolutely. Absolutely, thoughts of an old soldier. You know, even if it's outdated, it would still work. It would get you from point A to point B. And another thing is, you should learn to use a compass. If you guys out there don't have a compass, you need to get one. And you need to learn how to use it. Absolutely need to learn how to use it. Yeah, nothing else just to get around, but actually, it'd be excellent idea to learn how to plot direction and stuff off a map with one. It's called orientating, and that would be excellent. You can learn to do it, or they even have classes. Some cities and towns give orientating classes. You could just look it up, Google it, and I bet you would find that several of your local towns and cities give orientating classes. Like I learned when I was a leader in the Boy Scouts. My son was in the Boy Scouts, and everything they learned, the adults went through with them. So guess what? We learned as well. So you know what? Orientating was in the curriculum, and that's what we did. We made sure that they took it when they went to the Boy Scout camp in the summertime. And then we would take them out after they had been a scout for a couple of years. We would take some of the older ones out and we would just drop them in a area and let them fend for themselves for a couple of days. And that's a good way to teach younger people how to take care of themselves. Self-defense is another good one, Cheryl. If you guys are not if you guys do not know about Corsair trainers, you guys need to get over there and check him out. He has a whole series on self-defense. So if you guys are new here, or even if you're not new here, if you haven't checked out his series on self-defense, you need to get over there and check it out. All right. Oh, the old man did make it. How you doing, old man? I didn't see you sneak in. I already did the popsicle thing. West wind's in San Diego County. That's not good, Wayne. San Diego County, I remember being in San Diego. That's a pretty busy place. Have a lot of hoodlums there, or they used to anyway. So I don't see anybody saying they have 6 months of food. Maybe Rob does. So maybe the ones that are saying they don't have it, maybe you guys need to start collecting a few things at a time every time you got a couple of bucks. That's all it takes. You can go to a Dollar General, Dollar Plus, Dollar something, and you can spend 5, 10 bucks and start building up your pantry. And that's called your prepping pantry. It's a pantry you don't let anybody use. Just storing food. All right, good job, old soldier. See, it doesn't take long. You're about 3 months in, so you just keep doing a little bit at a time. That's right. $4 or $5. It don't take long, really. If you go to a dollar store and you buy, even those little bitty cans and stuff they have, for $1 they don't give you much, but if you buy enough of it, it adds up. Dollar Tree, yeah, Dollar Tree. Like we have Dollar General here, and it's not nothing in there is really a dollar. It's usually more than a dollar. It goes up to like $5. But still, you can still store up on stuff at those kind of places. And even if you look at the ads for Safeway or Walmart or whatever, you can still get pretty good deals, and just pick and choose. Uh, and now's the best time to do all that because food is still abundant, So if you just pick and choose and get yourself stored up and try shoot for 6 months, and after you get 6 months, say, "Oh heck, man, that was real easy. I'm just going to try for another 6 months." Hey, you keep doing that, and pretty soon you're up to that year mark or year and a half, 2 year mark, and then it's all downhill from there. You still have to rotate your food. You have to look at the expiration dates and stuff. You still have to rotate your food, but you're not buying as much as you were before. When it starts being past the date, like you can usually go past the date on most food. If the can or the container's not damaged in any way, doesn't have any holes in it, you can usually go past the due date on there. But you still want to rotate your food. That's just a rule of thumb, and then you're not buying near as much food that way at a time. You're just rotating it through, make sure that your family's going to eat safely. The big thing is food and water, you guys. The shelter will be there. Anybody that knows anything about self stability or self sustainability, that's the right word, can probably take care of themselves, but you have to have that food and you have to have that water. You pick up a few things to barter with too, because money is going to be non existent, you guys. Don't forget those barter items. Don't sell bullets. Don't sell your ammo. Rule number one, if you do that, then they know you have it and they'll come back and they'll take it from you because you've sold them the bullets. So now they can come back and take them from you. Don't forget that TP. Jay's got the key word right there. TP. Shoes are important also. That's right, Jay. I have never even said that tonight. I don't know why I didn't. I usually say that to all in all my videos. Make sure you got shoes on your feet and make sure you got a spare pair. Socks would be okay, but I'm not sure that it'd be necessary. It would be nice though. I'm more concerned about having shoes on my feet because if you're gonna be in the city, there's probably gonna be glass and debris all over the place from either the blasts or from rioters or people that just bust the windows out to gain access into buildings. So you want to make sure you got something on your feet so you're not walking on glass and debris. So shoes are very important. That's about right, Andrew. If you know how to hunt, you won't be hunted. Make sure you don't be tracking nobody, though. That could be called stalking, right? Yep, they could. They would keep your feet from being rubbed against and whatnot. I'm not saying not to have them. I'm just saying that if push came to shove, you really don't wouldn't wouldn't need them. I mean, you should have them. You need to have like moleskin and stuff in your first aid kit. That's so your feet don't rub against when you have blisters on them. Your feet don't rub against the leather on the shoes and stuff or the canvas. So socks are pretty important. But say you wore them out or whatever, didn't have any, it wouldn't be not gonna be like it's gonna be a breaker, a deal breaker. Let me look, Rob. Can you ask again then, Seven Wonders? I'll try to find it. Yeah, I do. I do seven. I do Seven Wonders. Trying to find it. My chat window over here went dead, so I've been trying to keep up. See if I can get it back. Oh, there we go. I did get it back. Darn. All right. Yeah, I got it back, but it's running pretty fast. 16 play. Okay, I'm getting past all that stuff. Yeah, that's right, Rob. I was just catching. I'm trying to catch up on the chat here, and I do know that you keep that date in the back of your head. If you guys don't know about Rob, go to his playlist. He has gone in his cellar and just picked random food from 5 years back and checked it out. Rob knows a lot. If you guys need to know something about food, go over there and watch Rob's playlist. I'm trying to catch up now that I got this window back. Whole lot bigger than my phone. Okay. Let's see. Trying to find it. Yeah, chat. Is that what you're talking about? Seven Wonders about the text chat. I mean, if you have time to do that, that would probably be okay. But actually, there might not be a way that you can text. I'm just saying there won't. I'm not saying there won't be, but I'm just saying there would be a possibility of not being able to use our devices like we do every day. In my opinion, anyway. Are you out of here, Uncle? All right. Thank you very much. You go rest. You have a good night, Uncle. And did I answer your question, Seven Wonders? Were you talking about the text chat? Is that the question you wanted to know? Yeah, it would be okay to do that if you had it. I mean, there's be a big it'd be a big plus if we did have that. But I'm imagining if everything goes down, a collapse actually happens, that our phones are only not going to be good for very much. We may be able to use them to see what's going on in other parts of the country, so we know how bad the devastation is. But if we could text, that'll be a plus. I wouldn't hold my breath on it though. You out of here too, Corsair? You have a good night, Steve. Have a good rest of your week, as a matter of fact. I'm going to have another video up in the morning for you to watch on that OBS. I know it's not in your pay grade, but maybe some of it will sink in. So I want you guys, we got about, let's see, about 9 minutes left. So I want to tell you guys that, like I said, Wednesday we do networking. I want to make sure that all the channels that are smaller, either your preppers or networkers or whatever you do, if you're a small channel, you need to grow your channel. And by networking together, no matter whether you're preppers or not, you're still going to learn how to take care of yourself if something happens, say a collapse of some sort. So it would be to your benefit for everybody to network with each other, no matter what genre you're in, to make sure that you know how to take care of yourself and others. So Wednesday is what I do. I call my networking day. I sit here. We have a lot of fun. I take down your name if you show up in the chat. We do a wheel spin on Saturday, and that will usually whoever's in the chat on Wednesday is on the wheel for Saturday. That's how I get the names. And so what you have to do is you have to be there Wednesday to get your name on the board, and then you have to be at the Saturday live stream in order to win if your name is spun on the wheel. So that's pretty easy stuff to listen to and take care of. So, but the other thing we're going to do is now I am starting to get some of my other audio gear and stuff that I could never have gotten without you guys. I love each and every one of you guys for sure. You guys make it possible for me to be able to buy the new fancy gadgets I do, so that we can have like right here, that this way, like this little chat box, and where I can do OBS and Hangouts, and I can do live reviews of your channel, so that we can bring more notoriety to your channel and get you to get more subscribers, so that you can grow with the rest of us. And I'm by far not even a big channel, you guys. Don't. I'm not saying I am, and I don't pretend to be. So all I'm trying to do is help out some of these smaller channels. All I'm trying to do. But I can do it now live instead of, how I used to do it, like this map that we have up here right now of the nuclear targets. I can, instead of having that up there, I'll be able to have a live camera that will show up over here, and we'll be able to uh, look at the channels. We'll be able to go through them in real time, and you guys can possibly see a video of theirs to see if maybe their channel would be what you'd be looking for to subscribe to and learn some other stuff from. So that's kind of where we're at right now, and I'm going to be getting a audio mixer too. So that's going to be some fun. We'll be able to bring that wheel into play in a couple of different ways with that mixer. So that's kind of where we're at, and I kind of want to do all that just for you guys because without you guys, I can't grow. So I want you guys to try to get as many people as you can to come over into that Wednesday morning stream, okay? That's what I'm going to ask of you guys personally. Try to bring some of your friends over there. Because you guys know if we get over 50 in there, we're going to do 2 drawings. And if I get over 60 likes in one live stream, I'll probably do something special there too. That is my next goal is to get 60 likes, and then after that up to 100. I heard that if you get 100 likes, that YouTube sends you an email of some sort, Yahoo, right? So I just kind of have some aspirations of having some fun with you guys, my subscribers, and eh, all of us can learn along the way. That's kind of how I am. So that's about all we got for tonight, guys. Unless you guys have anything to say real fast. Make sure that if you don't know everybody in the stream tonight, make sure that you go over and check out their channel. Go over, check them out, watch one of their videos, leave a comment, tell them how much you enjoy their content, and hit that little red button on their channel. That's how we're going to grow. And I'm going to pick out a couple of channels for this week, for this Wednesday. But excuse me, I want you guys to start picking out the channels you want to go visit. You guys know of the small channels that you guys have on your channels. So let's start by letting you guys pick out the small channels that you think need to be spotlighted, showcased, so to speak, so that not just my small channels, but your small channels can grow too. That's how it's going to work. So that's all I got for you guys for tonight. It was a good stream. I appreciate you guys coming by. And I got a lot of things covered. We got to figure out where we're going to go if we go into a collapse, and we got to visit with each other and kind of network on other things that you could do during a collapse. I like that. That worked out real well. Thanks, Cheryl. I appreciate that. I appreciate you coming, Rob. I really do. It was a pleasure. You have a lot to offer, my friend. Another thing is Chris McBee has a second channel, you guys. It's called Volunteer Outdoors. And I want you guys to get over there and show his second channel a little bit of love, okay? He's trying to get that thing to grow a little bit, so I want you guys to go over to see Volunteer Outdoors. Do me a big favor and go over there and push that red button for me. Not only will I appreciate it, but I'm sure Chris will too. And so on that note, I'm going to tell you all good night. Thanks for coming.